Finish button.
Hello. To upload thumbnail. Let's just pinch this. Hold on. Just pinch the camera in. So I'm just waiting for Nicola to tell me if there's anybody here, and I've lined the tripod up and everything with the string, so it should.
You just need to drop it down a little bit because it's just slightly chopping off at the bottom. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm locking that down. So good evening, folks. Hope you've had a wonderful day wherever you are. It's very warm here.
Yeah. So we've got Steve Ellis.
Hi, Steve.
David McClernan.
Hi, Dave.
Graham Light.
Hi, Graham.
Leona Fay.
Hi, Leona.
Georgina.
Hi, Georgina.
Steve Ellis. Real Simple Things.
Hi, Baz.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, good evening. So, anyway, yeah, the purpose of this evening's little foray into the world of wood turning is this. So, it should be picking that up. But I did upload an Instagram photo today and tomorrow. So this was kindly sent to me by Ed Oliver of Oliver's Woodturning, and it is the Simon Hope 8mm square bar carbide hollowing tool. So Ed said, "Ooh, I bet Chris could use one of them." So yeah, thank you so very much. It's got the soft grip handle, but you can remove this and then mount it into one of Simon's dedicated tool handles with the collet chuck. So it might be, and then that would give you further reach into something a fair bit deeper. So people speak very highly of Simon's tools. I've never had the pleasure of using one before, so this is a first, and you have to hold it flat against the bar, and then the carbide cutter is set at 45 degrees, which Simon says is the perfect angle for hollowing out. And what I've done is, because this is a square bar, so I would have to be feeling for the tip all the time to make sure it's in the correct orientation. I've put just a sticker on there. I haven't recorded a message. All I know is when my thumb touches the sticker, that's the top. Simple as that. I didn't need to put a message on it. Although, if I am going to, and I might, just for comedy, I'll put something on it like, "This way up, stupid." So we're really...
Shall I just tell you who else has joined?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Dr. D.
Hi, David.
Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Stace Makes.
Hi, Stace.
Paul Lockwood. Chris needs a mic, Paul.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we're ordering one this week.
Wivey Woodshed. Leona says she loves her Hope Mini Hollower, her favourite tool by far.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get to grips with it first time out, but yeah, I've not used it at all. It only came yesterday, so.
Blue Light Turner.
Hi, Scott.
Graham says it's a brilliant tool, a bit aggressive but really great to hollow with. He bought one from Simon at Harrogate 2018.
Right, okay.
Stuart Hayes, the Mank Turner.
Hi, Stuart.
Linda O'Reilly.
Hi, Linda.
Paul Otter.
Oh, hi, Paul. How you doing, mate?
I think that's everybody.
Right, okay, so I've got a piece of ash here. I'm going to rough it down into a cylinder. Using my speed sizer off the lathe, I have marked, it's a tactile groove on there, so I will use my gripper jaws, which I'm sort of like getting really fond of when I'm hollowing out end grain stuff. So the tactile mark is there for me to part down to, and then that will be the spigot for the gripper jaws. Anyway, first job is to get this whizzed down, so let's crack on. So this isn't really going to be a full-on project tonight, which is strange for me. It's more of me demonstrating to you guys me using a tool new for the first time, and hopefully the trials and tribulations of what that's like. And then if I do get it hollowed out and things like that, I might just do a bit of airbrushing just for fun on the outside with one of Nick Agar and Chromacraft's infill stencils. So let's crack on. I'm waffling. So
David says he's got the 6 and 8 mil straight and swan neck gouges.
Right, okay. So just let this come up to speed. Not a very long speed. So let me just again. I shall just stop that now and move the tool rest in a little. Make sure we don't foul. Still got a bit of a flat edge. But we're getting there. But it's nice and slow. Like a bit more of an aggressive cut. Nice and gentle now. That's feeling like it's in round. So there you go, that was good fun. So what I'm going to do now is over to just check for centre height. So the way I check for centre height is I just offer up the tip of the tool, and with my index finger I can feel the relative position to the spindle centre. So I can just drop that down a tad, just move it in a little bit. So I'm going to just stop and have a feel how far away I am from the tactile rub. So a bit more there. Just ride that side while it comes up to speed. Again, it's just slowly catching monkey for me. A bit more. I'll just angle that tool rest so I can get a bit closer. Just keep the vibration down. So I can just still feel a little bit, just a tiny little bit more. So we can remove that bad boy there now. Knockout was driven by a step centre. Missed. Any questions so far, folks?
Sean Brown, Arve, sent me over to your channel. When he heard of this, he couldn't believe it. Well done, Chris. A real inspiration to a lot of people.
I know, yeah. Arve was so funny in the early days. I was sort of like I was communicating with him, and he went, "No, there's no way this is happening." And anyway, one of Arve's close friends helps the blind and visually impaired at summer camp in Canada. So he got his mate to check me out. And his mate says, "No, you're all right to speak to him. He's legit." So I'll never remember that. And then I made Arve a pen and a hammer shaft, a decorative hammer shaft, and he sent me a T-shirt. So yeah, he's funny. He's funny. He's called Chris as well. Yeah. So that's in there. So just a slack grip. So what I'm going to do now is just bring up the tail stock with the cup centre, and then I can just, I've not tightened the gripper jaws up, I'll just give it a bit of a spin and it just helps centralise things for me. And then right, Nicola, if I may ask you to do me a favour, please.
Yeah.
If you can position the camera, bearing in mind that you are connected to the power, just so people can see this end a bit better. We are getting this week, can you see?
It's pretty good, actually.
Will they be able to see me touching that face?
I think so.
This week we are getting the mounts for the iPads.
Yeah.
And some better lighting and a microphone ready for us doing remote demos, paid remote demos as a professional woodturner. So that should be cool. So all I will do,
Somebody else.
just be gentle. Just make sure it is running through, which it is.
What are you making out of that piece of ash, Scott says?
I am going to be making nothing much. This is, it's going to be just a straightforward hollowed out pot. No finesse. You know, it's not even really intended to be a completed project, this, Scott. It's more of a first time out with the hollowing
Sounds
tool.
like a pen pot to me.
It sounds like a pen pot, doesn't it, Nicola? So, I mean, someone's just said there in the comments, it's very aggressive. So straight away my brain goes, what did you say? So,
do you think that gripper jaws are better than dovetail? Graham Light bought a set but hasn't used them yet.
I am liking them, Graham, for hollowing out. I'm just squaring off that face a bit. I am liking them, Graham, I must admit. Obviously, I still prefer dovetail jaws for when I'm turning bowls and things like that. You can get a small, you know, you just need a smaller tenon or a spigot, or if you're doing a recess and a foot, whatever. But for hollowing out, I do like the fact that you can put a bigger spigot on with these because the depth of the gripper jaws is longer, so you can get a meatier spigot, longer spigot, and they can grip. Obviously, great for green turning as well. They can grip green wood really good. So. Yeah, I'm very happy with them, Graham, at the minute. Must admit, they're working well. What I'm going to do is just ready. Just being careful of the vibration. So basically there was a lot of tear out on that end grain, so I've just give it a lovely cut with the bowl gouge. In fact, I can just feel a bit of a that's it, it was just peaking a bit there. So right, so I need to feel for it being on centre. Made it up a little bit. Right, so I can maybe just a bit below centre again. Need it to be bang on centre, I think. So just tentative baby steps. So that's interesting. So it's wanting, obviously because I can't see things, it's wanting to just...
Hobby Turner says he loves his straight hollowing tool. He's had it over a year and hasn't sharpened it yet.
Wow,
Changed
that's
the
cool.
inserts.
Well, that's good. I'm just going to take
Well, Lockwood says the depth hole would make life quicker and easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Read me mind. I like it when people read me mind. So I was just giving it a try there, working it on centre, but it's very hard for me to pinpoint exactly the centre, and it keeps wanting to throw me, excuse me, on the other side. So let's remove some. But this is, you know, real time. First impressions. I can tell it's very sharp and effective. Make sure the speed's turned down. So just you know, with hindsight, I should have tried this on a nice, you know, first couple of times out, a nice bit of soft sycamore or lime, but what the hey, you might as well use.
In that?
Yeah, where's the fun in that? Might as well use, you know, a piece of solid ash that's like concrete. If I know what it feels like with really tough timber, I know that I'll be alright when I get to some nice easy stuff like lime, yew, sycamore, whatever. Did you say Paul Lockwood?
Yes.
Oh, hi Paul.
With a depth hole, this is Graham, you can get the hollowing tool at 45-degree angle, which gives a beautiful cut.
Well, it's pre-machined, isn't it, Graham? At 45 degrees. You know, all I've got to do is keep the bar flat, as is my understanding. Let's just feel, alright, okay. Yep. So as is my understanding, you just need the bar flat on your tool rest in this orientation, and it should hollow out better.
West says he has a saw return master.
Yeah.
Didn't like the large overhang and stuck with traditional tools. Today he hollowing out a bowl. He tried it again and it was brilliant.
All right. Okay.
Question is what makes is I don't know if he's asking is what makes hope better.
Well, Richard Findlay got in touch with me. And Richard Findlay is world-class woodturner. Very, very, very highly skilled woodturner, production turner. You know, the likes of Richard Findlay and Dave Dalby. Yeah, Richard got in touch and said, you know, Simon's tools are really good. So
Paul Lockwood says that's a lot better cutting.
Yeah, it just takes me a while.
Sounds better now.
I'll stop in a minute and have a chat. Yeah, it is amazing. Right, let me just feel that. I mean, that's, you know, yeah, it just takes me a while, folks. I'm just going to move my remote control so I don't lean on it and hit start. Yeah, the thing is, obviously, even though I can have little pips and marks and reference points for centre, when you can't see them, it's a game changer, believe you me. So that this first 10-15 minutes, it's just my brain has been getting a feel for it, and the advice you've given, you know, Paul Lockwood read my mind. That's why I was moving those tools out of the way to get my tailstock so I could drill out a centre hole, because I thought I'm just having trouble pinpointing that exact centre. But yeah, it is. Now that I'm getting a feel for it, and it's all about me having to reprogram my brain all the time with something new, because my muscle memory gets so in tune with everything I use. To pick up something new, it can take me just a few minutes for my brain to really catch up with what people with eyesight, you know, can do quicker.
Can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
David Julie says, as you turn from the centre and out, twist your body to follow the cuts coming up the side of your form.
So I'll be doing that, I guess. That's what it means. Like that. Is that what it means?
I don't know. Does that feel better?
Well, the noise changed, so...
He says yes.
Right, okay.
Buster West says carbides just sound so brutal.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a really good, considering it's, you know, really dry, hard ash on the end grain there. I mean, that's really good. It's a really good finish. Feel for my sticker. And I'm also trying to process, you know, what would be a you know, an aggressive cut for me. how much pressure I have to apply to the tool, etc. So just light of pressure there. And also I used an 8mm drill bit there. So really what I'll do is next time I put my relief hole down the middle, I'd use a bigger drill bit. Because that is exactly, the hole is exactly the same size as the cutter really, so I'll still have to be bob on with feeling it, and if you get slightly on the wrong side of the rotation, it's letting me know. But
things.
okay.
Buster West says the way Chris is clearing stock, I will have to get me one of those. Sean Brown says, wow Chris, I just read a brief description of your condition and you went blind in 2008 over a period of 4 weeks.
Correct.
It must have been so difficult at first. How long did it take for you to adapt?
I'm still adapting. We can just we've got the workshop rear door, and there's two pigeons getting festive outside. We think the juveniles relatively, and these two wood pigeons, they're bloody scrapping all the time, bless them. We don't think they're both trying to get all sexy, do we? We think
they're just fighting.
They're just fighting, bless them. But play fighting, obviously having fun. So anyway, yeah, I went blind in 4 weeks. From a condition that destroyed my retinas in 4 weeks. So the first year of being blind, really busy. Social workers, rehabilitation, all that sort of stuff. And then I was doing a cookery course at college a year after going blind, and like someone flicking a switch, I felt sick, had to go to the toilet, was sick, and the tutors arranged for a taxi to take me home, and then that was the start of what was going to be 4 years of, well, a nightmare. It was panic attacks, being sick, muscle spasms, hallucinations, hot sweats, not sleeping. It was horrible for about 4 years. So yeah, but here I am now, wood turning and loving it, and doing it as a profession. So yeah, I'm doing all of this with no eyesight, which is huge fun. So what I'm going to do now is part this off a little bit, and we can do a bit more. just going to free up.
Buster West says an absolute inspiration, both of you.
What, you as well?
Well, I don't know what I've done, but yeah,
Well,
I presume.
I mean, Nicola's been really humble there. She doesn't know what she's done, but she knows what she's done. And people that know us pretty well know what she does. So, anyway, yeah, you've got a nice little ash bangle there. But I am really impressed with how, I'll chuck that over to you, Nick, how consistent that is coming up the side.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll drill down some more and have another go. So yeah, this was going to be a play, and then it's, again, you know, we all say, oh, come along on my journey with me, you know, share my experience. Well, this is what I had in mind for today. So let's see what it's like drilling out with a force and a bit for a bit, and then hollowing out, and then I can just gauge what's going on. Speed down, turn on.
David Keeley says use a Forstner bit.
Sorry?
Use a Forstner bit, David says.
Yeah, I've got a Forstner bit, Dave. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Just opening up that hole a bit more. Can people still see that okay?
Yeah.
Just get rid of that.
So, did you just put this off to see?
No, just so people would be able to see him better.
Oh, right, okay.
Just getting rid of that sharp edge. Yeah, basically, obviously I was always going in deeper because we're only operating on one camera at the minute. I didn't want to go that deep in. It was just more polite to.
I'll just show you the ring.
Yeah, that's just what I parted off then.
So there you go.
So again, feels where I need to be. Maybe just up a little smidges. Again, always for people that are tuning in for the first time, like who was the guy asking the questions about me being blind? Sorry.
I can't remember his name without finding him. Is it Sean? Was he called Sean?
Sean.
I'm not sure. Let me just see. Hang on.
Anyway.
You keep talking.
So the gentleman that asked me, you know, he'd read my bio about
Sean.
Yeah. So every time I stop the lathe, Sean, I have to feel for my reference, my start point, my datum. Whilst I'm turning and the machine's turning and spinning and I'm doing what I need to do, my mental imagery sort of like really flows nice and smooth, and I'm able to follow and get in the flow and really get a bit of a move on. As soon as I stop to reposition or, you know, switch tools, I have to stop and feel them for my datum. So, you know, there's compromises with being blind and being a wood turner.
Dark Side Bob says he couldn't turn a pancake, let alone a lump of 4x2.
Yeah, you could. Anybody can do anything they want. you're saying? Quite a greedy cut, so obviously you guys could hear that.
Baz has super chatted you.
Baz, what you like? Thanks, Baz. We love you, Baz. Well, Baz to the
Darky,
marvels.
yeah.
Cheers, Baz. So, again, stop and feel. So that sound might mean maybe I'm just slightly off centre.
Somebody said, let me have a look. Good Turn Daily Blair said, I love hearing the birds in the background. So, I just said we get a lot of birds here because we've got trees at the side of the house.
Yeah.
And then I don't know whether this is in reference to my comment, but Darkside Bob said birds ?
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
All right. So, sounding better. So yeah, I must have been just a midges off.
Graham Light says, you guys are an inspiration to us all. Thanks for all you do for the craft and showing the way. David Julie says you're getting the swing of it now.
I like getting the swing of it. I like that.
Does that tool have a rotating head, says Darkside Bob?
No. With it being flat bar and it's angled and it's been machined by Simon exactly 45 degrees, the cutter head presents to the work at 45 degrees. So he said as long as you're flat with the bar and the tool rest, you are cutting at the perfect angle for how he's designed it. So obviously with if this was round bar, you'd have to be more on your game, whereas this being square, it's taken out a lot of the mental processing for me. So there's that, but it doesn't swivel. I mean, you can. I'm guessing I need to get more jiggy with it as the practice. So let's have a go with this technique. So I've got my fingers there and I'm just reaching. So I hope you're getting that. Don't worry about the noise, that's natural.
Sean Brown says use sharpen your own tools.
Yes. With the Tarmac system.
Buster West, strange request, but can I buy one of the off-cut rings?
Well, I've only got one at the minute until.
Well, we can have this one.
Yeah, we don't want you to buy it.
We'll send it to you.
If it's going to America, because Buster's a good old American name.
Yeah.
We will wrap it up as best we can, but it is quite fragile and delicate. But yeah, that's. I was liking that. I was just applying pressure with my fingertips and trying to pivot. So this is all learning on the go.
Not from America.
Oh, is he not?
No, he's from Kent.
All right, okay.
Buster was an accident. It's Brian.
All right. Well, if you want it, Brian, we'll send it to you. We don't want any money for it. Look at that. So what I am doing now, folks, is just as it's getting to the bottom of where I drilled with the Forstner bit, I am just opening that up now with that little swinging motion. And obviously as that opens up more, make sure I'm feeling I keep a couple of times I have put this down on the tool rest the wrong way around, which could be quite interesting. So I am being cognizant at the minute of feeling for my little sticker. So it's things like that you're always having to think about when you can't see. It's exhausting being blind. So yeah, it is a really good tool.
Buster West has super chatted you as well.
Thank you, Buster Brian.
Thank you for the inspiration. You have no idea.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words. And so if I can just drop that tool rest a little bit now as we go in. Again, feel for where my sticker is. constantly having to feel and adjust. I wonder what it's like right on the face there. Yeah, I'm just experimenting, getting a feel for it.
Mercy Island Woodturner says he's got a few Hope tools, he thinks they're great and just up the road from him.
Alright, that's cool. I mean, I've chatted with Simon quite a few times at the shows and things, but he's always been so busy. Feeling. So what I am doing now is I'm just opening that bottom up.
Right, you've got another super chat from Sean, that the guys come from RV.
Thanks, Sean.
Mark the Gentleman Woodturner says he uses almost exclusively Hope tools.
Alright, okay.
He has that hollower that you're using, it chews through material for sure.
Yeah. Well, I am very, very impressed with it. And it's just, this is a fact-finding mission. So obviously, it's my first time out with it. It's, you know, it's just all about, like I say, reprogramming my brain, getting a feel for something, having fun. But I'm almost down now to basically all that's left there is that initial little pilot point on the Forstner bit. So I'm going to leave it on there. So for those of you now that haven't seen the Nick Agar infill stencils, what I'll do is I'm going to I'll put a stencil on here. We can. So I hope you stay tuned for this because these stencils are amazing.
Georgina's given you super chat as well.
Thank you, Georgina. So yeah, stay tuned. Let's do some airbrushing, and I'm going to show you how these stencils will let you airbrush like a pro, even if you've never done it before. So stay tuned. I can take that face shield off now to cool down a bit. So just while I'm doing this, I'm going to unplug the lathe. So what we have here is, you'll let me know if it's picking that up, Nicola, please.
Just hang on, because I've got. Just bear with me a sec. Just go to your left a little. That's better.
So these are the infill stencils developed by Nick Agar, part of his signature range, and Chromacraft USA. Now Nick and Chromacraft are both located in Georgia, the state of Georgia. So these are little, I had a feel before, I opened it before and had a feel. These are the little dragonflies. So you'll get in this pack 2 sheets of the peel off. So
where can you get the chrome craft in the UK? Is it Turner's Retreat?
yeah, Turner's Retreat, the tool post as well, and Classic Hand Tools I think do the Merlin too.
I'm just trying to find a link for Scott.
So yeah, Turner's Retreat. So you get varying sizes on the sheet, and they are precision cut vinyl. The smaller the item you're working with, the smaller stencil you need, because it's very hard to get the big design wrapped around a tighter radius. You'll get lots of creases and crinkles in your stencil. So what we are going to do is go probably for a middle one, so that feels quite nice. So you're going to peel this off, and you're going to get a positive and a negative, and you can use the, you know, either, whatever you. Oh, that's a double one. I'll leave that. I'll leave that for now. Use it at a different time. So you'll get a positive and a negative, and you can use either. It's entirely up to you. They are designed to be reusable a few times. I'll just give it a bit of a hand.
Des Barker, hi Chris, great. Hope tool, we love it. You are getting a great cut coming up the side wall with a shear cut angle, great stuff.
Who was that?
Des Barker.
Thanks, Des.
Paul Lockwood's got to go and take his son on his driving lesson.
Oh, that's a proper dad. Well, have fun, Paul. Yeah, I do listen to what you're up to, and I know you're very busy, and you've got a lot of videos up and everything. I promise I'll catch up with you, Paul, actually, because there's so many people I need to catch up with. And just touch base and give some of the love back. But yeah, you're on my to-do list, Paul, so catch you later. So, anywho, what we have there is I've just put it on any old way. I'm not bothered about the orientation. This is just to show you guys how simple and easy it is. So that's stuck on there. Make sure it's all pressed down. Nicola, if you can just reach over on the wrap over there, please. There should be some masking tape, the thicker roll. Just make it easier.
Don't forget this is my pen pot.
Yeah, this is your pen pot.
Oh, okay.
Hey. Well, you'd do that bit any old way, wouldn't you?
Well, I would, yeah.
So, you've got to make sure that that's stuck down nice and firmly. Then I urge you, no matter how good you are with an airbrush, it's not you, it's the overspray that will get into places you didn't think were possible. So I always mask my work up. I used to be in the automotive industry, so it's all about the preparation, and I would urge that you mask your work up, and then you're not chasing overspray around for hours, or even having to remove and turn what you've just done off and try again. So I always, so there you go, just for the purpose of this experiment, we've got that on there. Okay, so masked up, pressed firmly. Remember, small items, small stencil. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to get the compressor fired up now, and then we will lay down a base colour, and then I will use the forest shadows to put a bit of pattern detail on.
Which version of the Hope tool are you using?
I am using the 8mm square bar carbide hollowing tool, sent to me by Ed Oliver. So huge thank you to Ed for thinking about me. It is a really good tool. I just decided to use it for the first time on a solid piece of ash. But if I can use it without it trying to throw me out of the workshop on a piece of ash, on something a bit more compliant, it should be, you know, even faster. But with practice I'll get my speed up.
Georgina says the dragonfly was a good choice.
Right, so what we need now is
So this is the Hope 8mm straight carbide.
yeah, the square bar.
Right.
The Hope 8mm square bar carbide hollowing tool. So my setup here is a dual action airbrush, gravity fed. It's got a Mac valve so you can really fine tune the airflow, and it's got an inline moisture trap attached and quick detachable hose. So it's not a top of the range Iwata or anything like that. This is a generic Amazonian one, but very good all the same. So, honestly, it's not one thing, it's t'other. The trigger's decided to come out of its little hole.
Can you manage?
It can take time.
Okay, just talk amongst yourselves.
So it's another job I have to do by feel. That's you. So yeah, obviously the triggers do come out, but it can just take me a while because there's a little pin at the bottom that plunges a valve, so it can take me quite a while to find that. Come on. Don't believe it. Sorry, folks. So when I get this back in, I'll do some airbrushing. But I should have a spare.
Rob CP, can you reuse the stencils?
Yes. Yeah, the peel offs you can. A few times, just be careful with them. Don't obviously put them on a dusty surface. But you should be able to get multiple uses out of them. But the infill ones, you will get, you know, months if not years of use out of them.
Sean says that spray gun would have bounced off the wall by now if it was him. Rob says cool, thanks Chris. Well, whilst Chris is doing that, has anybody else got any questions?
Ask me anything you want.
What type of paint do you use, Chris?
I will be using you can either use water-based stuff like the Intrinsic range from Hampshire Sheen, or spirit stains like chestnut. Entirely up to you.
What would be a good lathe for a complete beginner, and am I better off buying second hand?
A lathe, it depends what you want to do with it. I would suggest getting probably the best that you can afford at the beginning. If you just want to do pens and medium-sized stuff, a MIDI lathe would be a good one. There's lots of good MIDI lathes out there. Mine are Axminster, and I think they're great machines. Depends what you want to do with it. With a big lathe you can turn anything. On a small lathe you can only turn small stuff.
Nick asked for the lottery numbers for next week, so I've given them to him.
Alright.
Baz says, has the move started to progress? Can't wait to do the finishing course with you.
Well, we're still hearing from the solicitors regarding the move, so it is progressing.
Alistair Clark says he's been watching Mike Walt do a goblet today.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever turned a goblet, Chris?
Yes. Loads. If you want to go,
Do you want me to go and get them?
if you get the Merlin goblet as well,
Oh right, okay, yeah.
the ones that I've just turned, so Nicola's just going to go and get a couple of goblets for you, ones that I have turned. I'm still struggling with this. And it appears to be in alright, but yes, I've turned lots of goblets. I think they're a lot of fun. Yeah, Mike does a lot of goblets as well. So I like doing medieval style goblets.
Have you done it?
No.
Right then. So we've got
Which one's that?
this one. I'm just going to put it on the lathe there. So that's the Merlin one, and then these are two that Chris did this week.
I did a wine goblet and then a brandy balloon.
I'm just going to go around this side. I can't see the camera from this angle. So I'll just get them in lined up. So there you go.
I need to go up plan B.
Okay, so I really like these. So it's got a lot of texture in there and on the base, colour, some carving, and then carving and texture and
so
colour.
all the main carving was done with the King Arthur's Tools Merlin, and the texture, the percussive texturing was done with a
Actually, I do that way.
engraver, and then the plain ash ones were just turned and then.
These are nice. These are sold, aren't they?
Well, potentially
No,
sold.
they are
Someone,
sold.
what has he said?
Yeah, they're sold.
Alright, so the two ash goblets are sold to a local maker, actually. Steve McDonald, that's got a company called Copies Crafts.
So I shall move these out of the way now.
Yeah. So I'm sure that this is what happens. Sometimes it can take me an hour to do this easiest of jobs. So what I'm going to do is
I'm putting these on your routing table.
okay. I'm just carefully going to get some blue stain, and I always put it back in the same position so I know where it is. So what I'm going to do is go to plan B and apply it by sponge, which you can do if you want to get these stencils and you don't want to get an airbrush. That's fine.
Right, let's have a look at the questions. So I'm just going to catch up.
So
We've done the Have You Ever Turned a Goblet?
yes, dozens of them.
Paul Lockwood is selling the lathe at the moment.
Okay.
Flaming Turner says he'll put the numbers on, and if he wins I get 5% of the winnings.
All
Sounds
right.
like a deal.
5%.
Have you ever tried putting captive rings on a stem?
I've done I've done captive rings, but I don't really do them on goblets. I've done captive rings. Yes, I've tried that, but the thing with wood turning is I do what I like to do and what appeals to me. So I love doing the medieval style, and you know, yeah, I turn what I like to turn and what I like, and obviously I'm still learning and trying new things, and it's a lot of fun trying and doing new things. But yeah, what I like, unless someone commissioned a piece, and then it's a different scenario then. But when I'm turning for me for fun, or for practice, or for Nicola, you know, I turn the things that appeal to me. But I've done captured rings, got a captured ring tool.
Wayne the Woodturner says he hates it. He hates it when this happens with airbrushes. Rob CP says he loves the Merlin goblets. Sean says wow, they are fantastic. Graham Light says hell's bells, they're brilliant. How long did the Merlin take you, Chris?
A day.
Yeah. Jeff Christie says that first one is stunning. Wayne Bigfoot, the Merlin one is Chris's finest work. Alistair Clark, very impressive. Love the finish to the Merlin goblet. Rob CP, what species of wood is the Merlin one?
Cedar. And then it was obviously heavily textured, gilded, coloured, engraved with the Merlin, King Arthur's Merlin 2 and percussive engraved. So yeah, there's a lot going on with that. So also what I have here is the Forest Shadows infill. So you get the infill. I've also got the infill for the swallowtail butterfly and the maple leaf. And they come with little twigs as well, and little insects, and the detail for the wings. And but this dragonfly doesn't have a dedicated infill. So Nick Agar was saying to me the Forest Shadows is really good at just, you know, giving it a bit of fun and a bit of texture. Becomes slightly abstract then, but that's cool. So
Alan says what features on the first so different, brilliant.
What? Sorry.
Alan said what features on the first so different, brilliant. Buster Bryan says very nice indeed, just getting into goblets, they are fun.
Yeah.
Georgina loves all three goblets. Alistair says he's going to have to give a goblet a go now.
Yeah, they are fun. You know, there's a million ways you could do them. So I've sponged on the blue, and then I've got a bit of black paint here. So I'm just going to have a feel now for a. Let's lock the spindle. Don't lock it all the way around. I don't know why I'm trying to make work hard for myself. So what I'm going to do is just hold that there now tight. So obviously a rattle can isn't as accurate or as...
Buster says years ago he used to custom spray cars through an old net curtain. Might have to give that a go with a bowl.
Yeah. So because I've sponged it on, it's probably not the greatest of detail, but it might have bled out a bit and knocked something off there. So basically what you've got there is you should be able to see inside the bleed out the outline of a nice little dragonfly. You see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean there might be some bleed out.
Yeah.
But it should have got the...
Yeah, it has, yeah.
You should be able to pick that up. So ignore the bleed out. That's what happens when you just sponge on a load.
Right.
The fibres of the wood, sucked it and drawn it through. So, but the rattle can, because it's come out atomised,
Yeah.
should have got the detail.
Yeah, it has.
So ignore the bleed out.
So ignore the turquoisey bit.
Ignore the turquoisey bit. So yeah, you can with your airbrush trigger playing ball, you know, you'll get a lovely fine atomised spray down. There you go. So if I again, let's just, and you could even, I suppose, you've got that sort of pattern there. So this is Forest Shadows. But I know custom, another one there, there's probably even this bigger one like leopard print. Let's try that one. So yeah, you can do, you know, these are your Forest Shadows. You can get lots and lots of great designs in the bowl, on the rim, on the platter, all over. So just have lots and lots of fun with them. You know, mask your work up, but dead easy. And when you use these in conjunction with the infill, you know, you're going to get some amazing effects. So what I will do is I will turn that off tomorrow, and then Nicola can have a decent pen pot.
Graham says, sorry guys, got to go. I've really enjoyed tonight. You've given me some ideas, Chris.
Well, thank you very much,
Catch
Graham.
you next week.
Yeah.
Night, Graham.
So that's it, really, folks. It's been a bit different tonight because it was just a practice with the Simon Hope square hollowing tool, square bar, 8mm hollowing tool. So yeah, it was really just all about me sharing that, and I'm glad that a few of you that have Simon Hope's tools were on board to just give me some helpful hints to progress a little bit. So yeah, I can understand why people would say they're aggressive. If I'm honest, you know, I still get anxious about using a new tool. Because it is such an unknown quantity for me. Can't feel the other sheet now.
Alan said, where can we get that sheet of patterns from?
Yeah, you can.
I'll put the link
Oh
in.
yeah, Turner's Retreat. So yeah, Turner's Retreat do the peel off, so you can do. They do oak leaves, maple leaves, swallowtail, butterflies. What else have I got? There's a fish, a bass.
Yeah. It's also
Yeah.
Stuart from Guernsey, I think his surname is Angry. His speed sizer arrived the other day, brilliant bit of kit. We need to say that the speed sizes will be available again from the middle of June. The next batch is being manufactured. So if you go on the Axminster website, you can ask to be notified when they're in stock if you wanted one. Linda O'Reilly says, thank you Chris, you've given some useful information on the tool. I have been looking, now I need one. She's got to go now, so night all.
Good night.
Night Linda.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, using a new tool, it is intimidating for me, but you know, after half an hour, you know, I was beginning to feel at ease with it and beginning to think about, you know, how effective it will be, and you know, it's been absolutely amazing. And for end grain ash, you know, that's done a fantastic job, and I would be perfectly happy, you know, to just start sanding at 120, 150 in there. But I wasn't even, you know, the finesse will come with practice. But holding it and, you know, actually getting some hollowing out is great. Yeah, I will always do a pilot hole to get rid of that centre spot. Because this is angled, it's hard for me to feel bang on centre without it wanting to skip. So that was great. Yeah, so I'm always going to remove dead centre with a drill. But yeah, fascinating tool, very effective, stable, and if you got the Simon Hope dedicated handle, you know, you can have a really firm grip on it, you know, it'd be even more stable. So maybe that'd be a nice thing for Christmas. Nicola. So, but there it is, yeah. For those of you that have got one, obviously, you know what this is all about. But for those of you that haven't got one, you know, I've hollowed out some very tough ash there for the first time with great results. So I am filled with optimism now and ideas already on how to use it on my future projects. So absolutely fantastic. So that's it. Sorry the
We've
airbrush
not
didn't.
finished yet, hang on.
Well, I'm still talking.
Alright.
So yeah, I'd just like to apologise for the airbrush going technical, but I'll get that fixed. But yeah, you can have lots and lots of fun with these. I have got photographs on my Instagram of the maple leaf work I've done with it, and some swallowtail. Oh, and the bee. I've got the bee, the bumblebee.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out my Instagram to see what effects you can get when your airbrush is working. So yeah, and when you finish with it, you just put it, just feel for the.
Well, you've got the bullet as well that you did.
Bullet.
The one with the
Oh
stars
yeah.
on.
Oh yeah, yeah. The shooting stars. Yeah, you get stars. Oh, snowflakes as well. I've got stars, snowflakes, bumblebees, dragonfly, bass, maple leaf, oak leaf, swallowtail, forest shadows pattern, swallowtail butterfly infill, and the sugar maple infill. So lots and lots, you know, you can just have lots and lots and lots. Yeah, I know about, you know, all the custom paintwork ideas through fishnet tights, lace curtains, water droplets. All those have come from the custom car world, but these have been specifically designed for woodworkers and woodturners by Nick Agar. So,
shall I read these out now?
yes please.
Sean Brown, it's been really fascinating, Chris. Thank you for sharing your experience, and I'll try to follow you as much as possible, and thanks to Arve for sending me to your channel.
Yeah, thanks Harvey.
Georgina says, Chris, what's his favourite and least favourite piece of wood to turn objects with?
Well, if something's really put, like the piece of olive ash I was turning a few weeks ago, and it had, you know, so many splits and inclusions and cracks and checks in it. It was.
I'll just move the camera up whilst we're talking because we're still on. Go on, keep going.
Yeah, I had a piece of olive ash a few weeks ago that really made me work hard, but I was determined not to throw the towel in. So that was a challenge. But for the same reason as it was a challenge, it was gratifying, and I learned a lot. And that's the beauty of, you know, art forms and crafts like this. You're always learning, and every day you're learning something new. And our failures and when things don't go according to plan teach us as much as every success does. So yeah, punky wood with lots of inclusions and splits can be quite challenging. So yeah, but I love turning all sorts of stuff. It's just that some put up a fight, and you know, it's all about not giving up. And even if you say I've had enough with that today, you know, and your mind starts you know, feeling a bit deflated, just, you know, turn the lathe off and go and do something else, and then the following day you can come back invigorated, refreshed, and say, right, I'm gonna have you today, you bugger. So never ever give up. Just sometimes you need to just down tools and walk away for a few hours.
Daniel Chapman super chatted you, said keep it up.
Thank you, Daniel.
Brian says, now the proud owner of a Hope hollowing tool, and mention Chris, thank you both. Wayne says the stencils are expensive.
Wayne who?
The Woodturner. But they're reusable, aren't they? Which bits?
They're reusable. Yes, they're reusable. The peel-offs are the cheaper ones, but you can get multiple uses out of them. And the infill ones, which are the plastic ones, are pretty much use them for life.
Yeah.
You know. So I wouldn't say they're expensive.
I suppose if you're using them on a piece that you're selling.
This is the thing. If you're using those and you're going to put them on a piece of artwork, you factor it into your cost.
Yeah.
So Wayne's saying they're expensive. Everything's relative. The initial outlay, you might go, flipping at 25 quid for that, it's a bit dear. But if you factor that into your project and get recompensed for it, or you know, you do a piece with that, you know, you're going to reap the rewards.
Yeah.
So I don't entirely agree with the fact that they're expensive.
It's if you're selling something, then you can kind of claw back some of that outlay, can't you?
And if they were one use, yeah, they would be expensive. But the fact that you can use the peel-offs multiple times, just be careful and don't crinkle them, and put them back on the main sheet as well as you can. That's cool. And like I say, this one, the infills, you can clean that up with a bit of methylated spirits. Yeah, if it's got a spirit, or if it's intrinsic, clean it up with water. That'll last for a long, long time.
Alan says, Chris, you always give wise words. Thanks, you're a credit to the profession of turners.
Thanks, Alan.
So
yeah, sorry Wayne, thanks for your comment, but I don't agree with you. I don't think they're expensive. Maybe a considered purchase. But let's face it, you know, you can go somewhere and spend a lot more than that on a meal and a drink or a haircut. You know, where do you want to draw the line? These are going to be used on your work, and hopefully you'll claw the money back. You go out for a drink and a meal, as soon as you go to the toilet the next day, that's the end of that. These can be used over and over again. So yeah, I get what you're saying, Wayne, but I don't agree with you. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
Okay. That's it really.
Cool. So yeah.
So, yeah. Another great one, Chris Nicola. Thank you, Night all, Jeff Christie.
Thank you very much.
So I think that's everything. Is that everything from everybody?
Yeah, thank you everybody that's super chatted with me. It's been amazing. Tonight's been a play, some research, some experimentation for a change. I do really like doing a project and getting some decent work done, but I just thought it was, you know, time to change it up, mix it up. Let's have a bit of a mess. So that's cool. I think next week though we shall get back on with the project. But,
Right then.
But I'm glad those of you that said you've learnt something, and yeah, thank you so very much. I've had a lot of fun tonight actually.
Yeah, and I've got a pen pop.
Yeah, do you want it as is?
No, thank you.
So yeah, I'm going to have to turn this off and then hollow it out and sand it and polish it. But
I was thinking maybe a maple leaf to match my other one.
Oh, there you
my
go.
little
Well, I'll fix my airbrush.
paperclip pot.
I'll fix my airbrush and put a maple leaf on it, and I'll put that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you all for coming and watching. Brian, send me your address.
Yeah. Hope you all feel inspired, and yeah, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Tell your friends about me, and until the next time, keep on turning.
Yeah, and Wayne the Woodturner's got a live tomorrow, so go and check him out.
Check Wayne out. Wayne's always doing something different, something exciting. So yeah, bob over to Wayne the Woodturner, see what he's up to.
All right then, we'll catch you tomorrow on the At Home with the Fishers podcast.
Indeed.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
I'll have to just move the phone.